Happy Saturday, y'all. Good morning. To God be the glory for everything that He is doing, has done, and will continue to do in our lives. Y'all, I just wanted to come and, I was reading my word and I was praying and in worship. But I just wanted to come talk about marriages, and I know the enemy is after a lot of marriages, and we have to ask ourselves why, because marriages is a good thing before God, or whatever, and it's where that family is created, and God said where two or three are gathered, I will be in the midst, and automatically in a marriage, God is already that third strand that binds everything together. But the enemy is busy and he's tricky, and he's even wise to that point to where, he will get into a marriage and all he needs to get in is to one weaker vessel, so when he get in, y'all, he runs wild. It can be with, one problem that wasn't even big, but it becomes big. It can be marriages say for better or for worse through sickness and in health. It can be, someone got sick or they're not the same anymore as, to physically what they was when they first got married. It can be a lot of things, that the enemy comes to bring separation and divisions in a marriage between a husband and a wife. And a lot of times it's family, it's friends, it's people that, you let into your relationship and your marriage or whatever. So God is your counselor. Know that in a marriage, do not get married thinking that, oh, everything is just going to be all peaches and cream, that it's just with the glitz and the glam of the wedding day and the bridal showers. And it's for beyond that. This is a covenant that you will be making before God, not just before your family and your husband, but the both of y'all are making this covenant before God, so you have to treat it as that. It's a covenant. And, when things get hard, you can't break that covenant. When things get rocky, that's why God put everything in there, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, for sickness and for health. You have to be willing to, stick it out. You made it, and as you get closer together, you and your husband, and bind yourself with the word of God or whatever, the enemy only have so much that he can really do, because now you recognize the enemy. Because marriages are beautiful, and it's a beautiful union between two people, who come together and want to know more about each other and want to spend the rest of their lives with each other, and getting to know each other on that level. Because you can know each other for a year, or you can have known somebody for 20 years and then get married, but you will go through the same things. Once you take them vows, the enemy will come, and we have to be wise on it or whatever. He will come in so many ways. But the thing is, man, you have to just stay motivated, keep your faith in God and stay faithful or whatever. Stay faithful to your spouse, regardless of what you see, what then change or whatever, because it's things that you can work with each other, once you start learning your spouse and things like that or whatever. And we know what make people tick. We know it, like I said, sometimes it be the little things. But as far as in my marriage or whatever, we will be married like 6 years in June the 15th. And we've been through it. Like the both of us have said, like these 6 years has been like a roller coaster. But like when I come to think about it, it's because, we done did some things, and then it caused us to, repeat the test over. It caused us to repeat the situation over. Every time you fall and you fail and you do things that's not lining up with the word of God or whatever, you're going to have to repeat that test. And it's going to get harder. It's going to be the same situation or whatever, but it's going to get harder. And that's what we, in our marriage, we're finding ourselves at. But this time it's different. no matter what it looked like to other people, whatever. In October, I knew God let me know, look, this is different. It's not the same struggle. It's not no stress. It's peace right here or whatever. But you're going to have to go through this. You're going to have to wait on me, and you're going to have to, not just prove yourself to me, but your faith is going to be tested, because the enemy, that's what he comes to do. He comes to test your faith. But know that I am God, and I am right here with you, or whatever. So, you just have to be mindful, and you have to have a personal relationship with God, y'all. That's what you have to do. But as far as marriages, we understand that, we're not of ourselves. Like, if I operate, man, like, I have to think about my husband. If he operates, he has to think about me. Like, you become one. It's not no longer I, but it's we. But then again, in marriages, you have to never forget who you are and your purpose either. So it's kind of tricky too, because you do become one, but you're still an individual, and a lot of times as women, we try, because we already have our things together or whatever, we, like me, I'm a strong woman or whatever, like strong-minded, things like that. So for somebody to come in, we know how we want things. We know how things operate. But at the same time, you have to be submissive. Not saying, be degraded, be downgraded or anything like that. But just be submissive, with a submissive spirit, with a submissive heart, and to your husband. And that don't mean bowing down. It means coming to that level, letting him lead and be that king or whatever. But you have to be careful who you allow to lead too. Because if it's not in God and it don't line up with the word of God, who are you following? And we have to, ask ourselves that question. And that's kind of hard to ask at times when, your marriage is just going through it. So before y'all get married, or if y'all already married, pray with your spouse. Y'all have to pray together. Like, it's good to pray individually, but y'all have to pray together, man. Y'all have to be in that word together. And that's what I'm realizing, because what looked like a failed ministry, we used to have a ministry on Facebook, me and my husband, and it was called Love Yourself Marriage Ministry, to where we had a group. We had like a little under 100 people in the group, and we would, share videos, testimonials. Then we would have people that will also, share videos and testimonials and just give a word of encouragement. And we would just encourage others or whatever. And it brought me so much joy doing it, because it wasn't just about me or whatever. And we have to understand that, what we go through is just not for ourselves. Like, if you done got over a test, it become testimonials. So somebody else can be like, if she got through this way, and this what they was dealing with, then what I'm dealing with, I know, God can fix that for me, because he did the same thing for them. So it's not about just telling my business, but you have to say what God has done for you. You can't be afraid of that. You can't have no fear how other people gonna feel or how other people gonna take that, because that's just their feelings. But if you're doing it from a sincere place and a sincere heart, then don't worry about anything else or whatever. So what once looked like a failed ministry and a failed marriage, that's what I was going through, because at the time we had our like I said, we had the ministry going on, but we was going through in our marriage, and I wouldn't let it show or anything like that. I was still posting, I was still doing videos, because I still had to encourage me. That's how God still was dealing with me. So I wouldn't look at the situation and what the enemy was doing at the time or whatever, but I keep my eyes and my mind and my heart focused on God, and that's really what helped me, even during the separation or whatever. And I was thinking to myself, man, like, people, my marriage just been out there for people to see, like, in the public, in the, on social media or whatever, the downfalls, the ugly, the, everything, people have seen it. So I was like talking to God, I was like, man, but everybody then seen a failed marriage and seen a failed, ministry. And God said, man, don't worry about that, because I put that on Front Street or whatever, because what's done behind closed doors is already going, come out or whatever. Because when you going through or whatever, somebody know about something. You know, it's nothing hidden. You have to remember that it's nothing hidden. So I'm glad it was, you know, on Front Street or whatever, because so it can already be exposed. Because God have to expose things for it can, you know, it can get better and he can fix it or whatever. Because if it's not exposed, it's hidden. And you can't fix anything that's hidden or whatever. So y'all, I'm just thankful that what once looked like a failed marriage and failed ministry, you know, God brought it all back together. But it wasn't until that we both had to realize, you know, what was in jeopardy, and, you know, really what we both wanted and things like that, and not have our focus on anything else but each other and God. So the separation brought just that. Even though I was like, man, I ain't have no closure this time or anything like that, God said you don't need closure for something that's not closed yet. You know, so as wives, like, when we take that vow, it's for better or for worse through everything. And I had to, you know, I had people asking me, well, how you can still be with him, or, you know, have you truly forgiven him? I've truly forgiven him. Do things come up in my mind and I have to constantly pray? Yes. You know, because like that hurt, and, you know, the past is the past and things like that. So that hurt is still going to be there. The things that you remember, you know, it's still going to be there. So you just have to find strength in knowing that. And you have to just keep your eyes towards God. And that's what I encourage women and men to do. Keep your eyes towards God or whatever. So, and it's not the fact that, you know, me and my husband just been through it. We're not the only ones. And that's why I have to speak up, because marriages, they're going through it. You know, if you haven't been through it, you will go through it. And if you done got through something, you open your mouth and you tell the next person, because, you know, it's hard and we need to encourage each other, you know, but just don't give up. And my life is an open book. You know, and that's what I'm realizing. Like, I asked God, I said, man, God, make me your miracle, God. I was saying, send me where you want me to go. And this was a couple of years ago. So you have to be careful what you ask God for, because he will. He will, but it won't be how you want it to be. Like, did I want everybody to know my business? No. But at the same time, I'm glad, because the same people that talked about me and downed us is the same people that he gonna rise us up in front of, and the same people that we will have to help and minister to and things like that. So, you know, and I don't hold no grudges or nothing. So y'all be blessed, and just know, you know, to keep God first in everything that you do. And, you know, what once can look like something failed, God will turn it around for your good. And I'm a witness to that. So y'all be blessed and have a blessed Saturday.